Welcome everyone. I'm Arpan representing Vedabi Global Services, a specialist in providing support and services in BI and EPM space. We provide pre-sale support, health checkup and optimization, installation and configuration, upgrade migration, support and maintenance, and end-to-end implementation. Here is the agenda for the webinar today. We will see some of the important utilities provided in Oracle Hyperion Enterprise Performance Management. You can see here some of the listing of some of the utilities that come with the different versions of Oracle Hyperion Enterprise Performance Management. Some of the utilities have been recently introduced with some recent EPM versions. We will see one by one each of them. Let us first see the EPM sys hostname utility, which is provided by Oracle Hyperion EPM. Basically, what happens that the canonical hostname of each server while configuring Oracle Hyperion EPM products must be the same while accessing from the same server or from any other server. And to validate this, Oracle Hyperion has come up with this utility EPM sys hostname, which validates the hostname as resolved by Java. It uses some of the methods which Java uses to resolve or validate the host names, and the utility works on the same principle. You can locate this utility in the installer files that come up after downloading Oracle Hyperion EPM products. This utility you will find in the part file number 3 for EPM 11.1.2.2 installer files. Then if you have installed the version 11.1.2.2, then you can also locate this utility under EPM Oracle Home and under common directory, then go to config and then to 11.1.20 directory. You can find this utility there too. Then you just need to call this utility using a command prompt, and then you can see some information getting displayed in the command prompt itself. I have shown some information here, a screenshot of the execution of this utility. It shows inet address detail of the host where you have ran this utility. Then it shows the IP address, name of the host server where you have ran this utility, and the canonical name. Then there's an important utility to validate the EPM deployment of your environment. So if you have installed and configured Oracle Hyperion EPM products, then you can use this validate.bat utility. For Windows you will see validate.bat, and for Linux or Unix environment you will see validate.sh, or you will have to use validate.sh utility to get the results from this utility. So basically this utility is to get is to run EPM system diagnostics. The utility generates a report which tells us whether our deployment has gone right or wrong, whether we have done it correctly or not. You can find this utility in EPM Oracle instance under bin directory. If you want to run this directory or if you want to run this utility, then you will have to navigate to this bin directory and then maybe launch a command prompt from there, and you can call this utility from command prompt itself. There is another way to execute this utility, and it is using the start menu, then go to programs, Oracle EPM system. You will find foundation services there, and then you can hit EPM system diagnostics. Remember that prior to running this utility, you will have to start all the services for which you want to run the diagnostic report, so that the validate.bat utility comes to know which services are running and which services, so that it gives us the correct result for services running. Once you run this EPM system diagnostic utility, that is validate.bat, you will be provided with a report which will be generated in the directory shown here, which will be under EPM Oracle instance, under diagnostics, and under reports folder. It will be by default will have a file name as such, validation underscore report, and will have a timestamp with it. It is recommended that in a distributed environment, this utility should be ran on each machine, so that we come to know that the distributed configuration or deployment that we have done for our environment has gone wrong or has gone the correct way. Then there is another important diagnostic utility which has been provided, which is EPM underscore registry. This utility is basically to generate a deployment report. The one that we saw earlier was to generate a validation report, which gives us a report, and it provides us with some colors like green, yellow, and red. A red color will show that such deployment has gone wrong, while the utility EPM underscore registry will provide us with a report, but it will be a report generated and targeted for registry that we configure during EPM configuration. So basically this report gives us EPM deployment topology report. Then it gives us then this report will consist logical web addresses, all logical web application and all web servers that are configured, and those will be included in this report. Then we can have application tier components in this report. We will also be provided or given the database connections that we configured, the user directories, and the data directories that also we configured during EPM configuration. It also provides us with a history report, which from which we can actually tell the configuration history on specified date for each server in deployment. The screenshot here shows execution of this utility. It will ask us, or it will prompt us for providing the password for shared services database once, and then it will generate a report in the designated folder. Some of the options that we can provide or specify while running this utility are like we can view the report according to the component type that we want to see the report for. So if you know the component type, then you can explicitly provide it, specify it while firing the EPM underscore registry command. Then you can also using this utility delete any component that you don't want to see in your registry. Remember, you will have to be careful while doing so, because this can mess up your registry database otherwise. So only if you are sure that you don't want any component in your registry, then you can go ahead with the command shown here. Then you can also update any property of your registry database. If you know which one to update, then you can go on updating the property in your registry database as per the command shown here. Then another important registry related utility that has been provided is registry cleanup utility. it was brought in version 11.1.2.2. Also is available for a prior version 11.1.2.1, but only as a patch. So this utility is basically used to, as its name suggests, to clean the registry. As Oracle says that it is quite safe to run this utility anytime. So you can be pretty sure whenever you run this registry cleanup utility, and you can also be confident that this won't mess up your registry. So generally what happens that after having many reconfigurations, patches, your registry might behave a bit differently and you may not be aware of it. So this information in registry tables, which is redundant maybe in any case, so you can update this information or you can compact your registry by running this registry cleanup utility. This can also be done actually using LCM, but or even using EPMSys underscore registry, as we have some option for that utility like delete and update. But as Oracle says that running registry cleanup utility is the most safest way to do so. So it's basically it is targeted for the purpose of cleaning the registry. Then you can find this registry cleanup utility under middleware home user projects instance name, that is EPM Oracle instance bin directory. Remember, before running this utility, you will have to back up your original registry schema or database that you will be having with you. At times, if anything goes wrong with the utility, then you can restore your original registry schema if and only if you have backup with you. Then, as I even mentioned earlier, that this utility is available as a patch for version 11.1.2.1. Then starting from version 11.1.2.3, Oracle made some changes to this utility, and they provide us with a couple of options while running this utility. Like you can choose whether to automatically fix the errors in the registry, or you just want to preview the registry. This is how the utility runs. This basically runs using some 6 rules that Oracle has defined it to run with, and it runs accordingly. Then another important utility from infrastructure aspect is reset config task. Now this is to reconfigure a service. This utility is basically targeted for reconfiguration of a service. We'll have to provide a couple of options while running this utility, which are like input parameters, we can say, and they are product name and task name. You can find both of these parameters if you run EPMSys underscore registry utility. Then you will be provided with a report where you can find both these parameters, and then you can go on providing this parameter to this utility. You can find this utility again in same EPM Oracle instance bin directory. Then Oracle provides us with a remove instance utility. Now this is something new. If you have an environment where you have multiple instances already configured, maybe on a distributed machines, so, and if you ever feel to scale down your deployment, then you are basically asking for a remove instance utility. So this utility deletes one of the instances or any of the instances that you have configured on your machine. As I said that this utility is recently launched with Oracle EPM version 11.1.2.3, and it scales down your deployment. You can find this utility under EPM Oracle instance bin directory. Then if you want to execute this remove instance utility, then you will have to fire a command like config-tool.bat for Windows environment or config-tool.sh for Linux environment, and you will have to provide a parameter -remove to remove a specific instance from your deployment. Then there are some like constraints that you will have to follow while running this utility, and those are with WebLogic admin server. So if you are running this utility from, say, the machine where you have WebLogic admin server running, then you will have to stop that WebLogic admin server service if you are running it on that same machine. Or if you are running this utility on, say, some other machine where WebLogic admin server does not present, then you will have to start the WebLogic admin server from the machine where you have configured the WebLogic admin server. So these are some of the prerequisites that you need to follow while running this remove instance utility. Then well-known utility ziplocs. It is widely used to zip all the logs that we have in our deployment. So this comes under troubleshooting category, and there are some other utilities too for troubleshooting, but ziplocs is widely used and was present from some earlier Oracle Hyperion versions too. So this utility zips logs file into it, validations file, and registry reports too, but only if we have ran the validation and registry report utilities, then and then only these files will get zipped while running this utility. Then after execution of this utility, you will see your result in EPM Oracle instance under diagnostic directory, under ziplocs directory. So you will be provided with all the logs, validation, and registry reports under ziplocs directory after execution of this utility. You can find this utility under EPM Oracle instance bin directory again. Then a very popular utility which was brought in version 11.1.2.3 is a log analysis tool, which is used again, which comes under troubleshooting category, and it is used to troubleshoot issues like if you want to list all the EPM errors that you are having in your deployment, then you can list all the functional errors in your deployment. You can also trace user sessions to associate events that have occurred in your deployment. So this is quite a complete tool for troubleshooting. It analyzes applicable log files for an issue. So if you have some issue in your deployment, then it will only provide you with the applicable log files that are related to the issue that you are having in your deployment. It is generally ran over the foundation machine of your deployment. Then you can also run this utility on some prior versions like 11.1.1 and 11.1.2. So you will have to download some patches for that from Oracle support. Then as a prerequisite, you will have to set Java home path in correctly in your environment variables, and you will also have to use an option -d as a parameter while running this utility or while running this tool, because this tool you can run standalone too. So you will have to provide this parameter -d, which will be followed by the file name or path of the file name where you want to log, or where you want all these log files that you want to then analyze. Then now we are moving towards utilities which are provided by Oracle Hyperion for migration purpose or upgrade purpose. We will see first a tool which is targeted for ease-based data and is widely and is said as or known as ease-based staging tool, and you will find its name in the in your directory as ESS staging tool. So this basically targets the upgrade of ease-base, and if you want to replicate your data from say one environment to another or from one machine to another, then this is the best tool that is designed by Oracle, because it replicates or it copies all the data that is present on your on your drives to some other machine or some other environment that you want to migrate to. Then you can execute you will have to execute this tool on machine hosting earlier release. So if you are performing an upgrade, say from version 933 to 122, then you will have to use this utility or run this utility on the version 9.3.3. You will be then provided with some export of all the data that is present on the machine having earlier release. A file will be generated which can be then copied to the destination machine that you want to upgrade to. So this utility can be located under your installation files that you download from Oracle eDelivery under migration directory, and you will find a zip file which is named as essstagingtool.zip. You will have to extract this file for sure, and then you will have to run essstage.bat for Windows environment or essstage.sh for Linux or Unix environment. You will have to provide username and agent port as a parameter to run this utility. A username should or must be an administrator user, and you will have to provide port number which is generally 14234 for ease-base. While execution of this utility, your ease-based service may go down or may go up. So this is a normal behavior because this is done by the tool itself. You may require to enter an administrator password when it will prompt you to do so. So once you run this utility, you will be provided or you will be asked to choose some options. You will be provided with 3 options which are where do you want to upgrade or what is the environment of the target machine gonna be. For example, the 3 options that will be provided are like whether you want to whether the target machine will have same named disk volumes, table spaces and arbor path. So if you have same named disk volumes, table spaces and arbor path on source and even on target machine, then you can choose this option, because choosing these options will make this utility run fastest, as this tool will no longer be required to change some internal references to the artifacts which will be there in the extract. So this is the fastest performing option, but then you will have to use same named disk volumes, table spaces and arbor path on the target machine. Then if you have a differently named disk volumes, table spaces and arbor path on target machine as compared to source machine, then you will have to select the second option. So for example, say on source machine I have my table spaces on say a local disk D drive, and if I want to have table spaces on my target machine as local drive F, then I will have to choose this option. So if you choose this option, you will have to provide the arbor path which will be targeted for target machine. And please make note of this arbor path location, as you will have to enter this location during configuration on the target machine. While configuring EaseBase, there will come a text box or yes, a text box where you will be required to enter full path of the arbor path location. You can browse to that location for sure, but you will have to make a note of this arbor path location while executing this EaseBase staging tool. Then the third option that you will be provided with is consolidated disk volumes or table spaces on target by exporting data. So in case if there is a requirement, say for example, if you have if you have 3 drives on your source machine, and you have table spaces as drive C or and disk volume as drive D, and for any reason you want to merge this on your target machine for only a single drive, say drive S, then you will have to then you are wanting to consolidate the disk volume or table spaces on target. So in that case you will have to select this consolidated disk volumes or table spaces option while performing EaseBase staging tool. Then there is another migration tool that Oracle Hyperion provides us, which is HSS Migrate utility. So this targets exports for shared services data, and which will be from the earlier release, which you want to from which you want to upgrade. So you will have to run this utility again on the machine which hosts earlier release. Then you will be then a file will be generated, a directory which will have to then copy on target machine. Then on target machine, when we will run the configurator, then we will have to provide the full path of the folder that we copied on target machine, and then configurator on itself extracts the necessary data from that file. And as a prerequisite, you will have to make sure that database service, shared services, and Opal and Lab service are running on the source machine that you had with you. Then let's see the execution of this HSS Migrate utility. You will find this under the installation files that you have with you after downloading under migration directory. You will have to extract the HSS migrate.zip file to Hyperion home. Then after extracting, navigate, or from command prompt, you can call this HSS migrate.bat utility. After running, after successful completion of this utility, HSS migrate data.zip folder will be created, a zip file in Hyperion home, under Hyperion home, which will be under migrate directory. Then you can copy this HSS migrate data.zip on target machine, as I even said earlier that you will have to copy this file on the target machine. Then the path to which you copied this HSS migrate data.zip file on target machine, you will have to provide that path in the configurator when you run on the destination machine. So this utility basically copies or contains all the security related information, all the project related information, all the application IDs, task flow information, audit information, and a css.xml file in it. So basically this file gets imported while running this utility. Then we have another migration utility, which is lifecycle management utility. It's a command prompt utility. Now we can have a graphical interface to perform lifecycle management, but there existed a command prompt version of it which still exists rather. So this takes the name of a migration definition file as a parameter to it. Then it helps us to estimate the number of artifacts for a proposed migration. So if you are planning migration of your environment, then you can run this utility and you can estimate the number of artifacts that you will have to migrate to. Then this utility enables you to migrate artifacts to or from a file system. This can be located under EPM Oracle instance bin directory. Then you will have to launch this utility by going to command prompt and firing command as such as shown here, which takes the migration definition file as the parameter to it. Then you can also run this utility from non-foundation services machines. Then but you can't run this utility from any other machine where EPM system products have not been deployed. So you can only run this utility from machines where EPM system products have been deployed. Then you can locate this file under EPM Oracle Home. If you have a non-foundation services machine, then you will have to navigate to EPM Oracle Home, Common Utilities LCM. Under bin directory you will find this utility.bat tool. Then you will have to copy this utility to path shown here, which is again EPM Oracle instance bin directory. And if you don't have this path in your machine, then you will have to create one, and then you will have to execute this utility from this location. So thanks for participating in the webinar. We will look forward to you in the upcoming webinars for Vedabi Global Services. For any query related EPM and BI space, please contact us. The mobile numbers and contact information is given on the contact us slide. Have a great time.